What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series Clone Commander Cody from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This figure is really special. He is the first of many Revenge of the Sith retro card back figures that we're seeing here in 2025 for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. With the return to movie theaters and a lot of the other promotional stuff they're doing for that anniversary this year, Hasbro went ahead and for the Black Series line, they started doing several, and it's honestly, I think it's going to be multiple waves of anniversary figures. This packaging style harkens back to the packaging that were on all the 3.75 inch figures in 2005 to promote the movie, and I'm really excited to get this guy in hand and just see what he's all about. As a kid who grew up watching the prequel trilogy and Revenge of the Sith always having been one of my favorite Star Wars movies, this is a very special thing for me, and to see Commander Cody, who never showed up in that original Revenge of the Sith packaging, show up now in Black Series packaging is pretty cool. So this figure was a Walmart exclusive release. I originally had this figure on pre-order. I had 3 on pre-order through Walmart, but I actually found this. You can check out my vlog that I recently posted on the channel where I showed off the new Walmart shipper that's been popping up in Walmart stores. I found multiple in my area, and I was able to pick up a couple Commander Cody figures for my collection. So taking a look at the packaging here, like I said, this is an anniversary release, so it's really just the 2005 Revenge of the Sith packaging on the Black Series scale. So the card back here is at the top, you have Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Battle of the Heroes with a real stylized Darth Vader helmet and some lava from Mustafar blowing up from beneath. Then on the bubble here, you've got Commander Cody and the nice big plastic window with all his accessories, including a new accessory, which is cool. Then you have the little portrait of Commander Cody straight from Revenge of the Sith, talking to Palpatine for that Order 66 moment. And then right here you have the classic, this was the logo on all the Star Wars toys at the time, the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith logo. The name of the character down here, your warnings down here. On the bottom, you have some of your legalese, and then on the back here, we have even more cool stuff. So you have a different little picture from the movie of Commander Cody with that Revenge of the Sith logo and the character's name. And then you have just a generic bio for the anniversary here. And then another pic of the figure. And this is cool because this is the actual figure here, as opposed to some of the other ones, which are just screen grabs from the movie. Now, the bio on this reads, "Celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with figures from the Black Series featuring commemorative packaging." Down here, you have your Black Series logo, and at the bottom, you have the rest of your legalese. Guys, please don't feed Commander Cody to your babies. With all the packaging covered, let's now get this guy opened and check him out. All right, gang, here's Commander Cody out of the box. Before we check him out, let's take a look at his accessories. The first one, which is just a one we've seen a million times, that's why I'm going to cover it first, being the DC-15S or DC-15A, depending on who you ask. This is done in a dark gray sculpt. No paint applications, no weathering, as usual. We've seen this accessory a million times. If you have any Clone Trooper figure, you know what this accessory is like in hand. It's a very nice accessory. The sculpt has some great detail. Not much else for me to say about it. Now, moving on to our next accessory. Yes, they count this as an accessory. We have the removable helmet for Commander Cody. This is a new sculpt here, which is consistent with the 2023 Clone Trooper sculpt as far as the base body, which this figure is on. You've got some really nice paint applications here. The visor is a separate piece that they put on top of the helmet sculpt, as well as all these little antennas. These are separate pieces here. Everything looks really good. I've seen some people's be warped out of the packaging. Mine are not warped almost at all, and it looks really nice. Gives off a great silhouette here. All the paint apps on the grill and down by the frown here, everything looks really nice. The little orange stripes around the breathing tubes down here at the chin filter area look great. The visor is painted on very nicely. Maybe a little bit of a dip in the middle of the visor here where they missed just a little bit of that paint, but it's kind of hard to tell on camera. You can see it a little better to the naked eye. The white striping on the front of this little overhang visor looks great. His flashlight, the bulb on the front is not painted, but it is what it is. The blue stripes on the sides here are very vibrant. Those look really nice. And then the stripes on top look great. For how many paint applications this has, it looks very, very nice, and I'm honestly really happy with how this accessory turned out. And then we have, this is a really exciting new accessory for this character. It is a little hologram Palpatine from that Order 66 moment. They even went as far as to paint the little communicator that Commander Cody, you know, gets his contact from Palpatine with. It looks great. I mean, I think they did a great job with the little striations here to give it that hologram effect, and I think he looks really cool. I'm definitely going to be posing my Cody with this accessory in hand. Now let's take a look at the Clone Commander himself. Now this is probably, before the Clone Wars, Commander Cody was probably one of the most iconic clone troopers, and I mean, he still is, but, you know, we've had other contenders like Captain Rex and Captain Hauser since then, but as far as just, you know, just cool factor goes on clone troopers, I think Cody's always been somewhere towards the top. This guy, again, is on the base body of a 2023 clone trooper, so a lot of reuse here, but there are definitely some new parts as well. Looking at the head first, a big thing I do have to give a knock on the figure on is the lack of inclusion of Cody's very characteristic facial scar that he has around his eye. That's just completely missing on this figure, and it's a little disappointing, to be honest with you. However, I don't know many people that are, you know, posing this guy without the helmet on, so I will say, thankfully, this is a character that most people are going to have the helmet on anyway, but still, it's not excusable in any way. I think that definitely still a disappointment that we did not get Cody's facial scar here. Aside from that, though, I think the Tamara Morrison likeness is there. It looks very clean. The hair is done nicely. We've seen this head sculpt a million times in the Black Series. As far as the different overlays go, he's got a unique overlay for the chest armor because he has that unique rank plaque here, which has the 3 blue dots and the orange dot here, which are awesome, painted very nicely. It's got some weathering, which is accurate to what we see on screen. This is done in the inkjet printing, which the dot matrix or whatever it's called. And you can, if you look really closely, you can see the dots, but from a distance it looks fine. But they really only weathered the carapace here. None of the arms and legs are really weathered the same way. Looking at the back here, they did also include a jetpack. This is non-removable, as far as I know, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just glued on, so don't try and rip this off the figure. It's got some nice paint apps, though. I was really surprised by how many paint apps are on this guy's jetpack, and also on the belt overlay. I really thought that they would leave this mostly barren, but the belt overlay has tons and tons of paint. What's cool, too, is they left a little peg hole here. This is for Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, because in the movie, Obi-Wan does drop his lightsaber during the Battle of Utapau, and Cody does end up picking it up and having it on his belt. That was a really cool inclusion, and even though they didn't include the lightsaber with this release, it's cool that you have some synergy there with other releases. Kind of moving back up to our shoulders here before we go back down to the waist area, we do have the new shoulder armor overlays. These are the first time we've seen this for this newer body of Clone Trooper with this O-ring system, and you have the one which is just the plain shoulder armor, and then you have the other one which has the antenna, which is in some very, very flexible plastic, which is great. I hate when stuff that's real thin like this is brittle, because it kind of ruins the figure. If it falls off the shelf, it's more likely to break. One thing they did miss on this guy, again, I'm a cloner, I'm a huge cloner, if you couldn't tell by the mascot of the channel. There should be a dark gray stripe that is the same as the one on the forearm armor here, on the bicep armor, on both arms. On this one I don't care as much because you have this this band here with this extra piece on the bicep, but on the left one it does look pretty barren, so definitely, again, just another detail that they missed that I feel like was worth noting. Something I will say on some of the armor pieces here, especially on the orange striping, they did really make sure to kind of dirty it up and paint scratch, I guess, you know, with some extra white paint, and I will give them credit for that. That does look pretty good. You know, I'm kind of whatever, either, in my opinion, either make them completely clean or make them completely weathered. I kind of hate this in-between that they do, but it's neither here nor there. You know, it's not a huge thing for me. Again, though, I did just want to give another little shout out to the belt, though. I think the belt looks great. Look at all those paint apps, especially like on the thermal detonator and stuff, and all these pouches on the back. Very, very nice, and very, very intricate attention to detail on the belt there. And then, of course, you have more of the paint that is unique to Commander Cody in the movie. The knee armor is done in solid orange. This is not painted at all, which I honestly like, because these are going to be getting moved around a lot when I pose the figure. Yeah, and then down here we have the soles are painted too. So overall, I mean, this figure is very, very nice. nice. It's a 2023 Clone Trooper with some new overlay pieces, and even though it's missing a couple key details, it's still automatically, like, it's immediately identifiable as Commander Cody. All right, so covering articulation. So with this being the 2023 Clone Trooper sculpt, I'm gonna kind of go through this a little quickly because we've seen this base body on figures several times in the line now, so I feel like there's not real much of a need to dwell on it too much. So Commander Cody has a barbell jointed neck, so you're gonna have a ball joint at the top of the neck and a ball joint at the bottom of the neck, which really increases the mobility there. So you're gonna get some really nice down out of that head. You're also gonna get some really nice up as well, and then you get some nice tilt as well as some right and left. At the shoulders, underneath the overlay of the carapace here, you do have some butterfly joints, which do give you some really great range there, as you can see. And with the shoulder armor being on an overlay with the O-ring system, you can also have a hinge and swivel with some great range at the shoulders. So as you can see, Cody can get past that 90-degree mark at the shoulders there, and the shoulders do also swivel a full 360 degrees. If you're doing the full movement, I would recommend trying to keep that shoulder armor with the rest of the arm, because if you don't, it's going to really stress that plastic of that O-ring system. This 2023 clone sculpt also features a bicep swivel, which is great added articulation, deep cut single jointed elbows. The band of the elbow armor is very flexible, so you're going to be able to get past that 90-degree mark of bend at that elbow, and there is also an added point of range swivel at the top of the elbow, which is great. And then of course down here at the wrists, you do have hinge and swivels. Both hands feature a trigger finger, which is a great improvement for the 2023 clone sculpt. You have that swivel at the right hand with a vertical hinge, and then you have a swivel at the left hand with a horizontal hinge. At the midsection, we have a ball joint, which is going to give you some great added range as well. And then at the hips, we have another ball joint that's going to give you some nice range. You can get the splits and things like that. And then of course you do have a thigh swivel cut, which is hidden underneath the thigh armor. The knees feature a deep cut single joint with the free floating knee armor, which is probably my favorite thing about this latest version of the Clone Trooper. And you do have a little more than 90-degree bend there, which is awesome. And then of course, down at the ankles, you have a forward-facing pin for rocker, and you also have a hinge, which goes forward a good amount and back a good amount. If I didn't mention it already, there's also a knee swivel. So again, overall, very nice articulation for this guy. I mean, these Clone Troopers, I've said it before, I'll say it again, have some of the best articulation in the Black Series right now. So let's get this guy kitted out with his accessories and get him posed up a few ways. All right, so first things first, we're gonna definitely want Cody to have his helmet on. So if you really mash the helmet down, Cody does not have his chin exposed. However, he's just lacking a little bit of a neck. You can raise that helmet just a little bit. You risk kind of showing the bottom of the chin there, but if you kind of tuck the head up underneath there, you can give him a little bit more of a neck and keep that chin from being exposed there. But again, I think the helmet looks great. It's very proportionate to the body, much better than a lot of the recent removable helmets, which look just Funko Pop-like on the figures. I think this is probably one of the best removable helmets that they've done yet. All right, getting the blaster in hand here, Cody is ambidextrous in the movie as well as the Clone Wars show. However, you can get some basic poses here with blaster in hand, which look great. Now, our last Commander Cody that we had in the Black Series came out in what, 2013, 2014? So obviously this figure is going to be much more posable than that original Commander Cody, and especially if you've handled some 2023 sculpt Clone Troopers, you're going to be very happy with the mobility on this guy. He looks really cool in hand. Getting the hologram in hand is pretty easy. You're just going to kind of wedge it into the hand here. You can actually get a pretty nice pose here very easily with that Order 66 hologram in hand. And just to kind of showcase the range of motion on this guy, this is how easy it was for me to get him into a one-legged pose, and I think this is a fantastic action pose for this awesome clone commander from such an iconic film. And for comparison's sake, here is the new Commander Cody here on the right and our original Commander Cody figure on the left here. And really, I will say there are some things sculpt-wise that I like about the older Commander Cody figure more, but as far as an action figure goes, I think I really do prefer the newer version. Alright guys, that's going to be about it for this review. This is definitely a figure worth picking up. I'm a huge Clone Trooper, so I'm obviously biased. I'm always saying pick up any Clone Trooper that they make, but I think this one's really, really great, and especially with that new accessory and on the new articulation scheme, you're going to get a lot out of this in figure as far as enjoyment goes. With that being said, guys, that's all for this review. If you enjoyed and you're not yet yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this review early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and more awesome benefits, make sure to check out the link to my Patreon in the description below. If you'd like access to just the reviews early, if you're more a fan of what's going on specifically on YouTube, you want to support in an above and beyond way, you could join my channel membership, Rancor Battalion, for 99 cents a month. You get exclusive badges in the comment section, as well as priority responses in the comment section. In addition to that too, you'll also get early reviews, and you get to vote on what I review next. You guys, the channel members, voted that this was one of the figures I should review first from the latest haul that I got. In addition to that, guys, if you'd like some Blitz Transmissions merch, check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify. Link is in the description below, as well as links to my Discord and all my social media. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off all units. Fire at will. 1, 2, pick your targets. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcements?